Loading Gastro
It's
Bar.
right in the window as soon as you walk in. What's up, guys? No guest today because we're going to be talking about Jason's favorite thing in the world, which is himself. No, I'm kidding. Events,
Yes.
and the awesome Around My Town app.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what do we have going on in the next coming months? I know, obviously, from my background and what I do with networking, the holidays are always the absolute most crazy for
Absolutely.
networking, for business networking, holiday parties, things like that. So let's talk about what's going around my town when it comes to events.
Well, the first thing we got to do is go on the Around My Town official app, right? So
Agreed.
you could grab it on Android and Apple devices. It's all over town, and there's even some posters around town as well that you could scan the QR code to download it. There is also a QR code if you want to get listed for if you have an event or if you have a business or if you anything like that. You could just fill out a quick form, or it gets sent directly to me, so we'll be able to put list on it. So I'm going to go on the app real quick. I know there's a lot.
Real quick, what businesses is your poster in the? What businesses is your poster in the
So
window
the
of?
poster is going to be in several other businesses. For right now, is at the Dreamery, all in downtown St. Cloud, and then we have several up and down. There's a Levy Liquors. I mean, it's going to be right now. We're at about 20. UPS store as well. We're in the process of distributing, but it's in several different places.
Sweet, awesome. Shout out to all those businesses helping
Yes,
Jason out.
Yes, thank you so much. It's at the Chamber. We could go down the list right now, but we just started putting it out there. It's a nice poster. You used to see it if you walk through it. Oh, it's actually next door as well at the Gastro Bar, Loading Gastro
It's
Bar.
right in the window as soon as you walk in.
Yeah,
Can't
right.
miss it.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate it. So anyway, so when you download it, you'll see a lot of different things on the app. Primarily is asking the question, what is around your town, right?
Mm-hmm.
So businesses, what restaurants, if you want a contractor, construction, pretty much anything, what is around your town. So you could actually filter by the town, you could filter by category, but specifically as it relates to this episode, we're going to talk about events. So there's quite a few events going down this weekend, primarily around Veterans Day and around the veterans. So the first one is the 5K Ruck. It's a walk that starts tomorrow in the morning, 8 a.m. in the morning, and it's at the VFW. So and they do a whole walk. A ruck is when you're like marching, right? So it's a march, but it's a run walk. Then there is the Veterans Day Parade, which is also tomorrow. I think it's right after, but that goes around pretty much. It starts at Lakefront and it goes all the way around. Starts around the same
Great
time.
way to celebrate Soldier City. Also,
Absolutely.
the library and the museum is right there. So if you
Exactly.
don't know anything about St. Cloud's history, pop in and check it out.
Yeah, and then there's a veterans dinner tonight. It's at the church. I gotta find it exactly where it's at. The St. Thomas Aquinas Social Hall. If you haven't bought tickets, you should definitely take a look. But it's tonight at 6 p.m.
And you can find those tickets on the Around My Town app.
Yeah, nice plug. So Kenyon Lockery, we had him last time. He's at the Drunken Parrot tonight. It's at 9 o'clock. And there's a lot of things going on as well in Kissimmee, but let's focus here on St. Cloud since I was able to sort it. So at the Dreamery and Hunter Arms are doing the Nouvelle Art Show. It's tomorrow as well, 3 p.m. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day for all of it. But the Nouvelle Art Show is right here at the Dreamery, and you can check the setup here as well. There's all the different types of art exhibits and art, and it's just great. There's several things that they're putting together and they're building, and nice stuff. I think it's the first annual, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do multiple of these.
Yes. From what I hear.
I'm looking forward to it, but I already added it to my calendar, so there's a little tab that you're able to just add to calendar, so you could save it, especially with so many events in the next weekend. You could actually share as well, so if I want to share it just real quick, just share it to somebody else.
Hey, I'm headed here tonight if you're looking for something to do.
Exactly.
Share it with a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be like a social media or Facebook where it's like a community.
The app, correct. Yeah.
It's not the app is not supposed to be a community. It's literally just informative and sharing it. I mean, it has a link back to the app itself, but at the end of the day, it's just saying, hey, this is what's happening tomorrow. Let's hang out. And that's what's this weekend. And then on Tuesday, there is a Veterans 5K. So separately from this one,
knocking on the door.
The Veterans Day 5K, which this one's at Lakefront. And yeah, I mean, there's a St. Cloud Farmers Market every Sunday.
Yes.
There is a Orlando Japan Festival. I don't know if you knew about that one. This is
didn't know.
in
No clue.
Kissimmee Lakefront
So
on
wait.
Sunday.
The Orlando Japan Festival is not in Orlando.
Not in Orlando,
Japan.
it's in Kissimmee.
Okay.
It's in Kissimmee.
All right. No.
But yeah, I don't want to go through everything here because there's a lot, you know.
Save the suspense. They can see everything on
They
the
can
app.
see everything on the app. But this weekend is chock full, mostly geared around the veterans, culminating with the Veterans Day 5K, which is at Lakefront at 8 a.m. on Veterans Day. But talk about, I'm excited. I mean, this is going to be great because, you know, we get to see what Soldier City is really about.
Yes.
We get to support our veterans, support our troops. What do you think about these veterans events?
I think they're great. I think they keep the spirit of St. Cloud alive. For those that don't know, St. Cloud was founded as a refuge for Union soldiers way back in the Civil War. I don't want to get the year wrong on camera, but it was very early on. I believe it was between 1901 and 1915, somewhere around there. It gives me
That's a good range.
Pretty good range to work with, and hope I'm
range.
not wrong. But that's when St. Cloud was founded, and it was very much, like I said, a refugee camp for Union soldiers. They had a lot of communion here, and then also they would offer land at a very discounted rate for soldiers. So that went on for quite a while, actually. Back in the 40s and 50s, I know this as a real estate buff around St. Cloud, is if you bought an acre of land in the city, they would give you an acre to 5 acres out in the manor area.
That's great.
So yeah, it was a huge incentive for settlers to settle down here in St. Cloud, and we keep that alive for the Veterans Parade, Veterans Memorial, and then the memorial. Both the Veterans Memorial Library is named that for a reason, and the museum right over here beside Moore's Market.
Yeah.
You can go in and see all of the history if you're ever curious or interested about the history of St. Cloud.
Yeah, that's what also makes, you know, this a small town. Right? It makes it special because there's a lot of other places that really don't do that and have that many events, and especially dedicated to the veterans.
Yeah,
So,
and most of all, at least very common around here, especially in America, I will say, is they'll tear their history down to rebuild something new, you know, and then they'll just build on top of each other. And you kind of get rid of what really started that area or where it came from. And St. Cloud, thankfully, even Kissimmee, thankfully, still has a lot of that roots, those roots in the city culture and in downtown area.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it because when you go to, you know, different towns and different cities, you don't have the same type of feel. And we were talking about, you know, to Tony Busby and actually Kenyon as well, that the small town feel, like you really feel that you're part of the community when you go to these events and everybody knows each other and you go from one event to the other, and it's really, really cool feeling. There not many places have that.
Right.
With the bigger towns, I mean, yeah, they have events. Like I'm from Miami and I visited Tampa as well. They have events, but they're more massive and they're like once a month or something like that. But here, you have like these small local ones that you really just know. Like, oh, I know who's the host of that, or I know who the co-host. Let me talk to them about. Like, it's great, and I love it. I love it.
And that's a big part of it, is since it is a small town and there's not. I wouldn't say there's a whole group of there's a solid group, but not a large group of people putting on these events. So more than likely, if you talk to one person at one of these events, they're going to be able to introduce you to many people at many other events, because it's such a deep, intricate group of people that host these events, that come to these events, that support these events and support the community. It's a really solid group of people that really are there to help each other out and help whoever wants to come out and enjoy the community.
I love it. And one thing that we're going to start doing soon, we're going to attempt our first live. To do this podcast live in the coming months.
It'll be a live in St. Cloud.
Live in St. Cloud, exactly. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So right now we're tinkering with the idea of the monthly market will be a trial run. So the monthly market at the end of this month, which is November, and then I really love the idea of going live during the Christmas parade, because I've been here my whole life. Christmas parade has been here. It's a staple of St. Cloud. So going live during the Christmas parade, and then possibly you might will probably be out of town. I might need a co-host here, but I would really love to do another live version during the Rock the Cloud event.
That's pretty good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But these live, we'd love to see if anybody would be interested. If you have a business or if you have an event that you want to sponsor, you help sponsor specifically for this live event, that would be great. We'll do multiple mentions. We'll put your logo out there. We already have a couple sponsors for individual episodes. This one specifically is sponsored by United Construction Solutions, which basically they do roofing. They're a general contractor, licensed and insured. So if you want to be as part of sponsorship for our live episodes as well, let us know, comment on this video or on social media, and we'll get you on.
Yeah, also, if you're hosting a big event for Christmas, for December, if you're hosting a big event, we have some openings for here in the studio and sitting down with local businesses. We'd love to get some really, how many huge events are annual around here when it comes to December? If you're really involved with these events, we'd love to sit down. We'd love to see where your mindset is at for this year. We'd love to hear what the big plans are for the coming years and how it grows and how you want to grow with it. So if you're hosting a big event this holiday, we'd love to have you as a guest and talk about the event.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would love to do a live on the actual event as well. That would be wonderful. So we're doing these test runs, but I think it'll be successful, and I'm looking forward to it. But if you want to have us there as well on the day of, let us know. We're more happy to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. That outreach means everything, especially putting it live putting it on the app now, and all over social media. So I'm really looking forward to the live stuff as well. I'm really excited. I'd like to get to the point. I mentioned this to you earlier when we first started talking about it. I'd love to get to the point where we can host an awesome Halloween event next year and then hopefully have a parade, a float in the parade next year, and we can just do it live.
Do it live.
On the float during the parade as we're going through. That
would be cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So that's kind of the goals I'm aspiring to. And then hopefully we have 2 or 3 guests every month in the next 12 months leading up to that, and it won't be much of an issue.
Yeah, and just to so you know the exposure of what these videos are getting, what these podcasts are getting. So we're getting at least 100 views, 100 to 150 views per video just on YouTube alone. We share it on multiple channels on social media with Instagram, Facebook. So combined with all the different followers and the eyeballs that are getting it, it's close to 8, 9, 10,000 followers and eyeballs watching these videos. Yep. And at the same time too, there's multiple different cuts that we do, these shorter reels, and every one of them is going to have the mention of the business of the event on a regular basis. So you're basically getting enhanced social media presence being a part of our podcast and being a sponsor. The event as well, like if you're planning this larger event, we have that whole week leading up to the event or 2 weeks leading up to the event doing the podcast itself, and we'll be promoting it. So there's a lot of exposure on here for both the event side and the sponsor side, because right now, for example, United Construction Solutions, I mean, they're on there, and then I have a couple others waiting in line for future episodes. You could be one of them as well.
Yeah, and just for great feedback I've heard is, I started this just because I like talking with people. I literally, I'm not great in groups and crowds, but I love sitting down one-on-one with people. I enjoy that. So the feedback, especially recently, that we've gotten in this realm has been pretty great, honestly. We've had people approach us and say, hey, we've had more people recognize us since we've done the podcast. Tony Busby I'll leave his story for him, but he had some really good feedback after he did the podcast. So that was great. And I've heard of a couple of people approaching me about it, like, hey, love what you're doing, I'm watching, and that says to sharing them on the Osceola Ranch Raves page, on the St. Cloud Connect page, just all of those things social media wise is just, I love talking, and our good friend Kenyon said he had such a good time and a blast just sitting down and being able to, it's my show so I can say whatever I want, shoot the shit, and talk about what he likes to do and his business. And if you would like that opportunity, just reach out. Yeah, and one of the fun things too that you mentioned, the shooting the shit, is the construction. So the construction episodes is going to come very, very soon as well. Yeah. We had a great time, and this was at night. We had a couple cocktails before and after, but it was a nice time. We were just
talking about the construction business and talking about what it is and what it takes to be part of it, especially after COVID and what they went through during the construction times. And one of the things that we're planning on doing, probably after the holidays, because it's just going to be crazy the next couple, is going to be doing an ongoing construction-focused podcast with the same crew. Maybe add a couple other ones. We'll swap a couple depending on schedules. But it will be like, what the construction industry is looking like. What is the new thing. That we could be like, what's trending for your home or business or commercial as it relates to construction, and just back and forth on their experience and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it, but I mentioned to them it may have to be after the holidays.
Yeah, and that keeps you up to date on projects around here, because obviously St. Cloud is growing. I'm in real estate, so I know a lot of things going on, but they're on the ground working it, and they're getting that info before ground is even broken. So it's a great way to keep up to date with, hey, where's the next big store going in? Where's the next development going in? What do we, for better or worse, have to look forward to when it comes to traffic and it comes to all these things? So that's what we plan to get out there and be very informative with. I'm super excited, and I will throw everyone at that gathering under the bus a little bit and let you guys know that it was super professional when the lights turned on.
Very nice. Very nice. when the lights turned on. Key point. It was fun right before and right after for sure. But it was very nice, very respectful, very nice guys. I like spending.
But it speaks to their integrity and their character, that when they know when it's time to get serious and talk about business, they're great.
Absolutely.
But I mean, we're in St. Cloud and they're contractors. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. I think
let's be realistic here.
I think those episodes are going to be pretty fun, actually, especially if we do an ongoing staple.
Yeah, and we're going to loosen up quite a bit. And honestly, that's what I want for the show. I don't want people to come in here and look at me and think, oh, he's always in his three-piece suit. He's always serious. I got to get serious. Like, I want those fun conversations, because, if I'm not having fun with this, then what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. And I just realized that we're going to do this recording, and chances are that after we cut it up and put it live, it's going to be after the events of this weekend.
Well, I already thought about that, and I was thinking we'll probably just shoot a quick advertisement.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do this, and then we'll just shoot a minute advertisement for each one, so you can get it up quickly.
That too. We may have to do another one. I'll probably put it out today.
Because editing it is and to our guests in the future, editing definitely takes time.
Takes time,
Editing takes time, and scheduling takes time as well, because Jason has his own schedule, I have my own schedule, our guests have their own schedule, our editor has his own schedule. So it's a lot, but I try my best to be here every Friday to at least make it consistent.
So when you do watch this, know that my mobile app, the Around My Town official app, has events all the way through January. So you're looking at, there's a Hispanic Navidad, like Christmas event coming up in the middle of November that I'll have to check it, but it's November 16th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's a couple events also. And we also have December, we talked about the parade. But it's not just with St. Cloud. You could filter by Lake Nona. Lake Nona is having their fall festival also on the 16th. And then we have Kissimmee out there. There's Tampa events. There's Cocoa Beach. There's an arts festival in Cocoa Beach in Melbourne. There's Miami events, Fort Lauderdale events that you could literally sort by all towns in Florida. I even have a couple Alabama events there.
Okay, great. If you want to travel.
Georgia, if you want to travel, and Georgia events, the reason is because I had a couple clients actually reached out to me through social media and say, hey, you don't have any ones up here? And I'm like, well, great, send them over.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling to Alabama or Georgia, I do have a couple
through. Because most people travel through those states. And not knocking the state, but it's true. Your population isn't great. Let's be real here, especially if you're in Alabama.
But what the great thing is, again, going back to the app, is that you have choices. It's not supposed to be a social media community. It's really a resource for events, for businesses, filtered by town and filtered by category. So make sure you download it. All the information is on there. It's on Android and Apple stores.
I will say, since now we've concluded that this will come out after the events you mentioned at the beginning. I had a great time at the events last weekend, Jason.
That was a great walk.
Yeah,
great run
it was
for
a
veterans.
great walk. It was so supportive of our veterans.
I will try to get it out there today. for the events. Hopefully you get it.
Jason, last weekend was such a great time.
Regardless, we could be talking about all the events that are happening every weekend, so it could be anything.
Sure.
There's a ton coming up in November and December. Make sure you check the app and reach out if you have any questions or if you want to sponsor or be a part of it.
Definitely get the app. That's the point of the video. Get the app. It's great. I'm not even trying to really plug him. He's here clearly, but the app is super user friendly.
Yeah.
And it's really a great thing. You don't have to go scrolling on Facebook. Everything's right there. So
Man, you know the one thing, I mean, not to knock social media at all, but man, when you see an event, and this is one of the big selling points, I think, when you see an event on Facebook and you see it really fast and you don't engage with it or say you're interested or you're going or it disappears.
Yep.
Like
until a day before, and then you're like, hey, this event you were interested in, and then you're like, hey, I kind of forgot about my interest.
And then you have a different schedule, so things on your schedule, and that was the thing. Well, and you could go back and you could try to filter, you could try whatever, but it's such cumbersome. And I haven't been a fan of social media for like one of the reasons why we came up with the app, to literally go to the place that you want. You could save it, you could share it, and say, what's this weekend? And go to the actual thing. You could add it to the calendar. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a great resource to have. And I'm looking forward to enhancing it, optimizing it, and continue adding all these great events.
Agreed. And if you have, like, honestly, so when I did my first community event, when I worked for Royal Realty last year, I reached out to you. I was told by two separate people to reach out to you. First of all, you had a standing relationship with Kayla Rios at OG Fitness. And I want to say, I don't remember who else, honestly. I want to say, do you know Jenny Estevez?
Yes.
So I think she was the one that told me to reach out to you.
Yep.
And obviously I reached out to you first and foremost because of BNI.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, he does Spotlight. So let me do the Halloween event, because I pieced that together within like 2 months, and fantastic event, awesome event. But I wish the app would have been available at that time, because I could have literally, instead of like, oh, let me go find the Eventbrite link, let me send it to you, I could have just said, hey, download this app.
Right.
And
it's right there.
It's right there. It's featured. It's as soon as you open it, it'll be there.
Yeah. Well, even easier, you could just share the actual event right there.
Exactly.
And it's just like a text message that says, hey, check this out. And it takes them.
I'd have to constantly go into my photos, find my flyer, send it to people, constantly do that every week, and then share it on Facebook. So if the app would have existed last year, come on, Jason, what are you doing? Speed things up.
I know.
I could have easily shared it and just been like, hey, we're not just doing this event, we're doing another event in December. Just download this app, everything's there.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting, since we're talking about the different features of it, I want to just chime in real quick about the businesses, because that's the other element of it. When we first moved here 5 years ago, like we always, and this is part of the reasons why we started around my town, is, we didn't know anybody. So we didn't have a group of people, community, to say, hey, who's a good landscaper, or who's a good electrician? I need to do this, I need to do that. General contractor to fix this, or pool company. So around my town was developed with that in mind, to have a business listing, right?
Referral network.
A referral network, right? So the magazine itself, Around My Town, has a dedicated section of the majority of the different types of businesses and restaurants and needs for the specific town. And then there's one for St. Cloud, there's one for Lake Nona, there's one for Kissimmee, and so on and so forth. That was the idea and the premise of it. So the app took it a step forward and brought in technology in it, and basically have it in the palm of your hands, where if you need a landscaper, if you need a general contractor, if you need an electrician, filtered by town, you have it right in the fingerprint. You don't have to ask Facebook and say, hey, do you guys know an electrician? And
get you don't have to get a recommendation.
50 comments, you have it there, you know that it's vetted, you know it's the right people, and you have it all. And if you move out, or if you have an Airbnb that you're building up in Tampa or Melbourne and you want some folks, you could actually go there, short there, instead of having the groups coming from here, going that way. So for the business perspective, from the app perspective that we're building, from the events that we're building every single day, we add more businesses, we add more events on a pretty much daily basis, but you have it at the palm of your hands.
I will say also on that note, as BNI has taught me how to network, if you are a business in that realm, reach out, use the app to reach out to those other businesses. And if you are in the case like Jason was a couple years ago, where you know nobody, but you have a business, you can easily build a referral network right there from the app. Call them up, say, hey, and I advise anyone starting in real estate right now to do this, especially in St. Cloud, and you don't have a network, or you just got your license, get this app and go through those businesses, reach out, make a connection, because you're going to need those. You're going to need those businesses. You're going to need those contacts. You're going to need that network. You're going to need those solutions, because I can guarantee you, your clients are going to come to you with plenty of problems that you need solutions for.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it. We're enhancing it every day, so be patient with it, but it's amazing. The concept is there, so every 48 hours we have a new update. So it's just so passionate. I love it, and I think it's great. I think it's great for the community and for all of us, part of it.
Yeah. Nice try on the app, by the way.
Yeah, right. It was a great try. I think I did a pretty kick-ass job.
Yeah, I'm busting his chops about something. I think does that compact everything we need?
Yeah, I would love to have you guys.
Where are we going after this?
Reach out.
Can I look at the app to what's going on?
You can, absolutely. Well, tonight's a dinner, the Veterans Dinner.
I mean, that's a couple hours away.
Right. Yeah. Well, right now, yeah. And then the 5K walk tomorrow morning.
Okay, so go to the dinner, and then when you eat too much, go to the 5K
Go to the
tomorrow.
5K tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best to post this, by the way.
Okay.
Today. So.
All right.
But yeah,
you heard it.
Sponsor, if you're interested in sponsoring or being a part of the events, or if you want us to come out to any of your events to do a live, let us know. I mean, reach out, comment here, DM us on social media. It's Live in St. Cloud Podcast or Around My Town Marketing, any of those, or even Dalton, Alberton.
Yeah, you can hit me up as well, Dreamer Realty on Instagram, or it's actually Live in St. Cloud now on Facebook. So if you type in facebook.com/Live in St. Cloud, it goes to my personal Facebook page. So reach out to me any way you can, and I'm around town all the time. So you'll recognize me.
Pun intended?
Yeah, the pun intended. You'll recognize me. You're like, hey, you're that podcast guy. I'll be like, yeah, what do you need from me? So,
good stuff.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate the time. Dalton, thank you so much.
Yeah, we needed this one, especially with all the events coming up. So thanks, guys. That's Jason. He is around your town all the time, so find him for events and find him at events. I'm Dalton Albritton, local real estate expert, and as always, I am inviting you to find your way to live in St. Cloud.
See you around.